guys, welcome back to the Twitch stage live at EGX 2017. We've had so many games today, but we aren't done yet. We've got probably one of the titles that I'm the most excited for at the moment, and Ian's here to show us its Lost Sphear on the Switch. Ian, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thanks for showing this off to you.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. So for anybody at home or watching here who doesn't know what Lost Sphear is, do you want to just give us a brief explanation about what sort of game it is and what we can expect?
Sure. So Lost Sphear is developed by a team called Tokyo RPG Factory. And this was a team that was put together by the president of Square Enix, specifically to develop games that really appeal to that nostalgic sense for people longing for those old school RPGs.
That's
things
awesome.
like Chrono Trigger, you know, Secret of Mana, lots of those kind of games that people have been asking for a long time. And you know, the modern games are great, like the modern RPGs that Square Enix make have, you know, sort of catered for a lot of tastes. But there's still a lot of people who want to go back to those old school styles of RPG, and this is what this team are making.
Well, it sounds amazing. Let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah, so the obviously it's kind of this isometric top-down view, like a lot of the older JRPGs. Obviously with adorable kind of artwork. So,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Well, I mean, I was a huge fan of like Golden Sun back in the day on the Game Boy Advance, so like I'm already feeling the vibes. Like it's really cool. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're playing as Kanata, and he's been plagued by nightmares. And he's sort of hanging around the village with his friends, Locke, and here we're going to meet his friend, Lumina.
Lumina.
And so basically, he's been having these nightmares. He's trying to figure out what's going on. And what we're going to find out is the world is being plagued by this weird phenomena called the Lost, where everything goes white and everybody loses their memories. And the only way to build it back up again is to create memories and build the world back piece by piece. So, so at the moment, we are looking for our friend Locke, and he's quite a sort of mischievous chappy, and he kind of has a lot of this comic relief that you get from a lot of the old school.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
so in the town that we're in now, I imagine this hasn't been taken over by the Lost yet?
Not yet, no. So this is very early on in the game, and at the moment, everything is fine, as it always starts out, you know.
Everything's fine, yeah, exactly. Oh, this looks really cool though. I do like this kind of like top-down style of gameplay, and it feels like it's going to be a very sort of, as you said before, traditional, kind of deep in those veins, so quite linear, but like a world map as well, and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, we'll get to see the world map in a minute.
Cool.
So there's a lot of kind of the tropes that you'd expect. Obviously, at the moment we're just kind of walking and getting used to everybody. But there's a lot of really interesting things that they do with what you expect. So obviously party chat, when you're talking to your companions, you can actually trigger this at any time. So if you forget where you're supposed to be going, you can actually move around and you can just press the button at any time, and Lumina or whoever's in your party will just remind you. But there's lots of lovely little dialogue.
That's useful. That's useful. I mean, I think one of the main things about like Final Fantasy 5, 6, those kind of ones was I did forget a lot.
Yes.
Where I was supposed to be going. There was like one key point where someone would go, let's go to this town, and it will be like in red or something, and I'll just completely forget after that. So that's cool that you can get a chance to remember. So is it that all your party members do follow you in this kind of style?
Yes, so all the party members will follow around, and as they leave, they'll disappear, and it's quite nice because they'll follow you through all the various different areas and things.
Yeah.
And obviously, the first game that the studio made was called I Am Setsuna, and it had a similar style. I mean, this isn't a sequel, this is its own standalone game. It's a completely new story. But I think people that have played that will actually appreciate a lot of the little things that have been updated from that. There's a lot of feedback about inns, because everybody that likes a JRPG loves to go to an inn and restore health. So that's been added now, following some feedback from I Am Setsuna. But obviously it's a very different style. I Am Setsuna is a very snowy sort of setting. It's very sort of harrowing. This is it's a lot more kind of colourful, bright, lots of different new areas to go to.
Yeah.
And obviously there's always a Frisky Pooch to go chat to.
The Frisky Pooch.
Frisky Pooch. I'm going to open a pub called the Frisky Pooch, I think.
You should. You should. I'm sure it would do very well. Dog friendly though, right?
Of course.
Yeah, well,
always.
That's fine then, absolutely. So you were saying before how the team's kind of been, or you were looking to handpick people to actually make this game.
Yes.
So I guess that means that we've got a high-end sort of soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
And the level design and the storyline has all been handpicked as well. It sounds pretty awesome. So what sort of stuff? I mean, without giving too many spoilers, what sort of stuff could people expect to experience, like environments and play styles, things like that?
Well, there's obviously it's a turn-based system,
Yep.
which is obviously the very old school classic turn-based system, but it's actually been evolved from things like Chrono Trigger. So if you've played it, you can see enemies on the map, and we'll get a little experience of this in a minute.
Okay.
But when you approach them, that's when you start the combat. And although it's turn-based, you can now place your party in different areas in the map, and depending on where they are, they can do different types of damage.
I see. Right. Okay. So maybe someone behind an enemy rather than in front of them, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And for example, if the enemies are lined up and you've got an attack that does a long line of damage, you can actually move to the top of the line and just shoot through all of them all in one go.
Right. Okay.
The other thing is there's these amazing mechanical mech suits called Volco suits.
Yeah.
And they basically make you superpowered and give you lots of new abilities.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
You can actually also use them to travel around the world really fast when you've unlocked
cool.
them. So.
Okay. So there's a lot of those things that sort of later in the game it gets a lot easier to move around once that's become less sort of like new, I guess. So where's Locke? That's the most important question.
Where is
now.
Locke? We need to find him. There's reports of a monster in the village, and it's quite worrying that Locke has disappeared. So, I think we need to go find him. We need to ring the bell to warn the villagers that the monsters have attacked, and in the process, we need to find Locke and just make sure he's okay. Now, obviously, I'm skipping through this dialogue quite quickly for the sake of the stream. Obviously, when you play, there's so many different characters you can talk to. Lots of, these amazing little funny quips and kind of these expansive character personalities that you can find.
Which is nice, because I mean that's one of the best things about those kind of older Final Fantasy games come to mind all the time. Because you get that kind of that character is because there's no voice acting involved. That character has to speak through their mannerisms and the way they talk through text. Yeah.
And what you'll find is you have the voices for these characters in your head, and you know personally how they sound.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I found that with like Barrett, for example, from Final Fantasy 7. Then you watch the movie, and it's kind of like slightly different.
So that's not how Barrett sounds. Uh-oh.
Is that Locke?
That's Locke.
Oh no.
Oh no. There's a monster in the village and Locke is down.
Well, we got to go ring that bell.
I know.
So it seems like there is a nice amount of story to this game. Are we talking about the same kind of length as a Final Fantasy title or a Chrono Trigger title?
Well, I mean, taking the previous example of I Am Setsuna, it was shorter in the general scheme of things in compared to a lot of games, but it's kind of a more manageable RPG that you can actually play.
Okay.
And obviously, the great thing is now we're bringing Lost Sphear to Switch,
right?
As well as PS4 and PC.
Okay.
And you find that if it's too long, you start to get into the grind and you don't sort of enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
But it's we haven't actually stated yet how long this is.
Okay.
But you can look forward to a meaty RPG experience.
So we're talking medium length, and it sounds like that's cool. Okay. So yeah, plenty to get your teeth into. Because I'm the same. Like I can commit to like a 20-hour game, but like a 40-hour game is a bit too
much.
It's a bit too much. Yeah. Exactly.
But if you want to explore and find all the secrets, then that option is there for you too.
You have that available to you as well, right? Yeah.
So what's up with Locke? Oh, he's just really hungry and he collapses.
Oh,
there's no monster involved. He was just
super hungry.
Yeah, Locke has a very kind of food-focused mentality, and that's something I can completely get on board.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So in terms of obviously we I imagine are going to meet a load of characters in this game. Do we run on like a class-based system? Is there a mage and a thief and that kind of thing?
Well, you can actually customize the characters and what they do, and some characters will have better abilities equipped to certain things. But you can actually collect Sprit Knight, which is what you use to upgrade your ability system, and depending on the scenario and how you want to create your team, that's what you can use. So. Very much role-playing elements, where you can customize it to how you want it to play out.
So you traditionally level up, but you also have resources that you find to enhance your characters further.
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
right, we're ringing that bell. Make sure the villagers know.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's all good, guys. It doesn't matter if there's monsters around. I've rung the bell.
Oh, we've got to try and find him. Okay. Let's hope we can get there in time.
Yeah, otherwise Locke's going to get hungry and pass out again.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to head back down to the village. And see if anybody's been affected by this monster. Let's talk to this dog on the way. This one's a playful canine.
Playful canine, not Frisk Pup.
You can judge the quality of a game by its descriptive terms for a dog.
Yes, no, that's very, very true. That's very, very true. So in terms of level design and that kind of stuff, have you found that working with different environments has been interesting? Like, do you end up like mountains and forests?
Absolutely. You know, there are deserts, there are cityscapes, and it has a little bit more of a, well, there's just a lot more variety of places that you can go to, so there's always something new to explore. Okay. So obviously we're only seeing a very, very small section of gameplay today.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you actually play the full game next year, you'll be able to sort of explore and find all sorts of things. And when we go to the world map in just a moment, you'll be able to see a little taste of that. I'm not going to take you there.
No.
Because I would like to be a tease.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think we may have a trailer as well to show people, to give a little bit more of an idea of the expanse. But so Lumina has afraid of something.
This is the monster. Oh no.
That's the monster. Wow. Oh.
Problem solved. This small chicken creature has been shot in the face with a crossbow.
Oh, fantastic. That is cool. So, you know, these story-driven games are always very, very interesting, but it looks like in terms of like combat mechanics and stuff like that, if it's a nice traditional kind of RPG, then I'm on board, because I love that. But one of the reasons why I ended up playing Lost Odyssey for the Xbox was purely because of that combat system. I love those turn-based games. Well, very cool.
This really takes sort of an established system and kind of, you know, really ups it one more time. So things that you were used to back in like the 90s, all of a sudden it becomes a, you know, you have these additions to it. It's like, wow, like I didn't think of them doing that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. But thank you so much for joining us. Whereabouts can people take a look at more about this, and when's it available?
Well, Lost Sphear is out on the Switch, Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4 and the PC via Steam, and it comes out January 23rd next year. And you can check everything out on the Square Enix website, and you can go from there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us. We've got a trailer to show you guys now, so stick around and we'll be right back.
Peggy 7.
PS4 for the players.